And that's what the team's got to be giving you.
Yep.
And we're very lucky now to be joined by a team principal. Got 3 entries with old 4-time.
Yes, sir.
Michael Shank.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Thanks
you
for
having
joining
me.
us, Mike.
Yeah.
Won this race in 2021. You've got a couple, at least one car starting up really high. Felix starting fourth or fifth. Now I'm free. Yep, starting fifth. So in the middle of that second row. If memory serves me right, probably as far up as a Meyer Shank racing car has started in this race.
That's our best. That's our best. We got it, the whole field covered. We got top, middle, and back. So we got the whole thing covered. Fifth is the best we ever qualified. When Helio won in 21, we qualified ninth. Mm-hmm. But I think what you're going to see today is, and I got a weird feeling. I'm telling you, Felix is fast. He's confident. He's got a good average, 20-lap average. The car. I think that car might be the fastest car in this garage this month. It didn't show it in quality because we made a mistake, but I'm looking forward to see what he does.
Sorry, you just said he had the fastest 20-lap average.
He's second fastest.
Second fastest 20-lap average. So you look and you pull out the data from all the race running all the way down to an average over 20 laps because of fuel stints 28 to 32.
Yeah.
So you're looking for degradation over the course of that whole stint?
That's exactly right. And I don't know that that's an exact science because power levels were weird on carb day and stuff, but it is something. And we kind of looked at on the tire deck. You know, we want to see how we want to go, as you can know, we want to go as long as we can get. We're going to go long and try to save fuel. If you remember in 21, we had a weird deal at the beginning of the race where it went yellow right when when everyone was, and they closed the pits. There's a bunch of people, except Helio and a couple others, saved enough fuel, didn't have to get emergency fuel, which is a big deal. Track position-wise, take emergency fuel, then you got to drive-through, and then you're at the back of the field. So it's real important, the 20-lap average to me. So.
As you reflected on that 2021 win with Helio after the fact, what were some key signals that you felt like were showing that he had the potential, and in this car and this team had the potential to challenge and ultimately win that race? And have you seen a lot of those things in Felix or other parts of the team this month?
Yeah, that's a good question. So on carb day of that year, I could see Helio did 2 30-lap runs on carb day, and he tried one aero configuration and another aero, and he picked one. He said, "I'm good, put it away." You just knew right away with Helio. Here, I haven't heard that total confidence, but he looked good. He looked good actually on carb day. So he left the 2-day test here about 3 weeks ago, and he had that little walk, right?
Yeah.
He's a funny dude, man, but he knows this place, and he tells me, let's see what happens. He says, by lap 100, I'm going to be P10 at the minimum, and he says it to me every day. Lap 100, P10, and if he's there at 100, then we're in the game with him.
And you know, the new collaboration this year with Chip Ganassi Racing, you've got, you know, data from lots of champions. I mean, you got 4 wins with Helio, you've got a win with Scott Dixon, you've got 5 race wins so far, 4 race wins with Alex Below to look at. How has that helped accelerate your knowledge this month as you try and learn what the car's doing in different weather, and with the hybrid coming into today, you know, with, you know, even more questions about how you have to use the hybrid to win the race?
Well, one thing is clear, there's a bunch of very smart people in the engineering room, no question about it. I think CGR do a really, this is not a good word, simplistic, they're very just real, kind of, they don't overthink it. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen, is they really keep it fairly simple, although they're very technical, but there's so much information, we can't run from the truth. Like, if we don't get the job done, we know what's getting the job done. But not only do we know, but we have all their data. Imagine sitting in the car and saying, well, here's what Alex did at Barber, right? And why aren't we doing it? Just point to that, right? So that's invaluable, and we're grateful for it. And it's obviously making us a better team.
Yeah, you know, as a driver, when I drove for Chip, his number one piece of advice was do the obvious things right. And I think that has permeated that organization. And it's nice to see and hear you learning those lessons and applying that. You know, you've got a great shot with Felix and Helio. How's Marcus feeling? Because it was an incredible effort, and I think I want to give a shout out to your team and your crew.
Yeah.
The monumental effort to get a car out on Saturday and then just show up, execute in the stress last chance qualifying, to make the race for Marcus. How's he feeling coming into today?
He took a big hit. It was a big one. And the tragedy is that car, I think, might have been quicker than Felix's just from a car structure. We spent a lot of time in the wind tunnel with that thing. It was really good, which is tough, but that's what happened. So I think he took a big hit. I think it's taken him a while to readjust and get his timing back. More, you know, when your timing's not right, you turn in early. Which if you have an understeer to begin with, you're already turned in there. You know how that is, right? Yeah. When you're losing it, you lose that. That's the best word I can describe it, is timing. Your timing's all cattywampus, right? Especially when you get in the train, right? So he's got to get that back. He'll be fine. He's very, very talented kid. Very, very analytical, very smart. Has a great relationship with Angela, his engineer, and he'll be fine. You know, it'll be interesting to see because he's got 2 real fast cars with him back there, right? And we know where they're going.
And just follow them.
Just follow them. Get up on the outside, go. You know.
Yeah. So. You're right. Helio starting this race at 50 years old. We haven't seen a 50-year-old driver in the Indy 500 since 2000 when Lynn St. James made her final start in this race. You've been with Helio now for 5 years. Is he any different? Is he just the same guy that you were running with in 2021 when he won this race?
He's absolutely the same guy. In fact, he's in better shape. He's physically stronger and bigger and better. He's the same guy. As you know, to get parachuted into one IndyCar race a year, it's the Super Bowl, is tough for anybody. I don't care who you are, right? But he knows this place so well. He's got so much experience. I think he's there 100% still. So he'll get this year, maybe one more year. We want to try to get him this 5th. We want to be a part of that. You can imagine, I mean, for us, just 1. For him and us, a 5th would be just off the track. It's up to us to give him a car.
And with Helio in an ownership role on the timing stand the rest of the year, what does he bring to the table? Obviously the experience, the race wins, we talk all about. What perspective has surprised you that he brings to the table on that timing stand now?
Well, one thing, Helio always has an opinion, so you're going to hear it whether I ask for it or not. You're going to hear it, but you can only imagine. It's everything from quali at St. Pete to a race at Iowa. He's always got some thoughts of where he's been when it happened to him. Now, the car's not the same, and times have changed, but there's a certain calming effect, I think, especially on Marcus. Marcus literally looks up to him. I mean, Marcus wasn't born when he started. I mean, think about that. He wasn't born.
I heard this stat the other day that Helio's first Indy 500
He
wasn't born
wasn't even
yet.
born.
And they're
That's
teammates.
wild.
I love that.
But Marcus has a really cool respect of Helio that I think plays well. And Marcus picks his brain, especially on some of these tracks that he was really good at. Is really good at.
Yeah. This day today, we're selling out the grandstands. As many folks as we've had at this track since the 100th running in 2016 as a team owner. We're seeing this place fill up. What is a day like this and the start of the year with this new relationship with Fox, who I know has gone all out in its coverage for the month of May and especially this race? What are you seeing that you're really liking about where this series is trending from just in the standpoint of continuing to be financially viable and ultimately successful?
Yeah. Well, as we all know, we had a tough week. We had a tough week last week in our series, but we're past that now, and I think I told you that earlier this week, and I'm not kidding you. We're satisfied with the outcome of that, and we're just going up. So let's start with the sellout. When's the last time the TV's been lifted in Central Indiana?
16?
Yeah.
Well, 20 with COVID.
Okay.
COVID, 2016 when we sold this out.
So I think obviously that's the obvious low-hanging fruit, but if nothing else, we do have momentum. Our events have been great. We've had huge crowds everywhere we've gone for where we go. We just got to keep pounding. Get Fox to keep this intensity they have up. Get more eyeballs on our product. Get more partners. If you look consumer brands on our cars, including us, we have more consumer brands on our cars in the Indy 500 than almost in a year I can remember. Right, and that's the important. That's what NASCAR does so well. They have so many real consumer brands, and that's kind of, in my mind, marketing-wise, because it is still tough to make a living IndyCar racing. It's really, really difficult. We have to raise every dollar, and hopefully, this is trending the right way, or I'm all in. I'm pushing all in.
Well, and I think it's awesome to see those consumer brands, and Jim's support, Jim Meyer's support with SiriusXM, having Creed on the car, but also
Can you take me higher? We're ready, bud. We're ready.
I was going to stay away from that. The fact that you guys have leaned into that and put a speaker on the car.
Yeah.
Some of those storylines that you talk about, consumer brands and eyeballs through the Fox programming,
Yeah.
but also leaning in to being a fan-friendly, interactive sport that is the greatest racing on the planet at the biggest sports event in the world is really impressive. Team owners like you are, I think, the lifeblood. Yes, the big teams will be there. They're the cornerstones.
Yeah.
But you guys, you, Ed Carpenter, AJ Foy, those are the lifeblood of this series, because that's what makes it really special, is that depth.
Yeah, we're working hard, obviously, to become a cornerstone team. But, in sports car racing, we've won and done super well, and we're kind of there. IndyCar's been a little tougher for us. We obviously won the Indy 500, which helped a lot. But bringing brand, you made me think of something. This this promotion, these things we do with SiriusXM, bringing these artists in, is a huge deal. It puts more eyeballs on the product. When the band's engaged, like Creed has, it's but John Bon Jovi did it in St. Pete. Like when they lean into this, it helps us, the whole paddock, right? Yeah. And we're going to do more of those. We got some interesting people coming and groups coming later in the year. And again, it's all about getting people to pay attention to us again. Look behind us here today. Even the garage, which is not all access, is full. Right?
Yeah.
I think it says a lot. And Jim and I are going to do whatever we can to try to stay away from the negative and keep it going positive.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for joining us here on Pit Pass Live.
Good luck today.
Best of luck to you guys today. Yeah, thanks. All right.